Whew, high stakes already on day number 2. Foggy is waiting in the winner's final, and then of course it's only one step away from the playoffs where both of these wants to go. Starbuck still has a shot for the EPT finals if he has a marvelous run into the semifinal or final, and he's spawning for the Playing Ducks in the bottom left-hand side in red with, of course, Farseer Headhunter and HawK for Russia, and the Power Rangers on the upper right-hand side with a typical Archmage opening.
Yeah, no surprise there from either player. HawK didn't go for the altar towards Tusker camp, so that was a big question. It's always a big question in Human Against HawK on this map, whether one side or the other will be attentive first, but it looks like he's gonna do the safe creep routes of the small camp towards the top. Do you know what HawK's description, his Twitch description is for his channel?
No, I don't. Please enlighten me.
It says, pro WarCraft 3 player with six-pack abs.
Yeah, that is probably true. I mean, I follow him on Instagram as well. We get some insights there too. But does that translate to you the human versus orc matchup somehow?
Not really, unfortunately. But no, I just brought it up because I was thinking about editing mine to the same, except instead of six-pack abs, I put dad bods.
Yeah, the infamous one-pack. I know that feel.
All right, we got the harassment here beginning on the peasants. Starbuck immediately picked up on the fact that there is no arcane tower being morphed. There's just a scout tower. He's gonna resummon just on time. Starbuck, in my opinion, has one of the best harassment like this with Farseer and Headhunter. That's what's brought him success in the past, not just against HawK, but also when he played against Chemico in the grand finals of a tournament that I organized, which he was actually able to beat. And Chemico's supposed to be the best human in the world.
That was definitely one of the tournaments that made Starbuck famous. He was always known among insiders, I guess. He was always doing well in clan leagues and on ladder, but this season he finally decided to participate in DreamHack. I think it was thanks to Krav, who encouraged him to do so, and man, does he make a splash. The first season wasn't that great, maybe dealing with nerves, and of course was in a group with Happy, but last time making to the playoffs, eliminating HawK, that was his breakout performance in European WarCraft for sure. And so far, HawK is having a rough time, as it oftentimes is the case on Northern Isles. Level 2, not that easy to accomplish when the Farseer is harassing you all the time.
Yeah, so far, HawK really has minimized the losses. He was able to get one wolf as well, which brings him closer to level 2. And Starbuck on the other side, not really able to kill anything. Needs to make sure he doesn't lose a single Headhunter. That would be absolutely disastrous if that happens. HawK is engaging a little too much before Defend finishes. Defend is still in production. It's 80% right now. And he took so much damage on his footman before that finish. That's a big mistake in my opinion. I don't know why he was chasing so far out. Maybe he just plans on using a regeneration scroll to heal everything back up and then creep, but that's still going to give some map control to Starbuck. He's about to kill the footman. No, he clicked on the barracks. Okay, he finally gets it. And there's the blacksmith behind this, which is also spotted. To which Starbuck can react by sometimes getting a torrent chieftain, because his main build in the past was to go Shadowhunter second.
Huh, interesting. Yeah, there's definitely choices here. Very, very good body blocks by Starbuck. So third game today, third player with good blocks here. Will this Water Elemental expire before he kills it? HawK is in with the denies, who keep on mentioning this. Get more and more important in the Warcraft scene and in competitive Warcraft, and Todd, you always knew.
Yeah, I mean, denying experience, denying level 2, level 3, always super important. Nowadays, we're seeing everybody actually step up with that. Like, everyone's micro has gotten so much better in regards to landing those very important ones. Unfortunately, Tower denies this wolf here, and Starbuck, the amount of pressure, everything is low.
Sick.
And HawK is even unable to heal up until now, and he missed one peasant at the back here with 5 hit points. And usually the time where you have like 5 to 6 headhunters, that's when you can say, okay, I've done enough damage, I'm just now gonna pull back and start sniping big items wherever I can, but he doesn't have the mana for wolves. Should he still go for it? I would say probably not.
Well, he thinks otherwise and steals this one. Archmage and Footman look healthier now. He sends in the herd headhunters as well. Your assessment was the right one. Are you turning into a Coach Todd here? Should we bring you a tracksuit and a whistle and the stopwatch?
What do you think I wear every day since I gained so much weight? I don't feel in my jeans, man. I I think, well, the thing is, I could see also HawK headed towards the center. I think if HawK doesn't head there, maybe it's okay to do this, because then the Shadowhunter shows up with salves and heals everything back up anyway. But Starbuck just gonna move back, get the consumable on his side of the map, and he's playing rather conservative because he's taking to tier 3, he's getting fortified defenses, he's not getting any upgrades beforehand. Like before, we saw him play greedier than this in the past, always getting +1 attack quickly, +2 attack. Seems like he's really respecting the potential attack from HawK that could be headed his way.
So, judging from this game, did HawK learn anything from fall to winter? Is there any changes that stick out to you?
I'm not sure if before he was always playing defense footman into rifles. It might have been just like normal footman into rifle. This makes a lot of sense. Like, I think if you go straight into rifles, there's too much potential. You're gonna get bullied in the mid game. Whereas like now he has some much better fighting potential. Gets to one of the wins. That could end up being very useful, but the army of Starbuck is already so big that I'm worried that if they fight, it's just gonna go very well for him. Starbuck drops the Scourge Bone Chimes. That's gonna be an insta-sell here. And then we have the trademark Bestiary behind this to be able to add Kodos.
Oh yeah, snack away on the breakers that might be coming. In the past, it was always a Mountain King carrying against this. I wonder if we will get the levels. That's definitely something HawK is struggling with at the moment. No level 3 Archmage, far away. No level 3 Mountain King, far away. No expansion on either side. Items go to Starbuck. I would give the edge to the playing duck so far.
A player's forces are...
Yeah, usually HawK's timing will be with Mountain King level 3. He'll grab like 1 or 2 mana potions, clap level 2, and then he'll try to land some big claps inside of those Headhunters, which very soon will be Berserkers as the upgrade already began here. We got Torrent Shift in third on the way for Starbuck. Stomp and Endurance Aura extremely important. He drops a Pennant of Energy on the Shadowhunter. That guy's gonna have so much mana. And he already has... He took the Scroll and the Invuln. That's such a big deal as well, because that means that HawK can't have those. Wait, what is this Murloc doing here?
Dying.
Player's forces are under attack.
I think, yeah, that's wasn't the best choice. Should have probably hidden from the rest of the army. But am I wrong that Starbuck didn't lose a single unit yet?
He lost the Wolf. I guess
Wow.
he doesn't really count as a unit,
Yeah. That's pretty impressive. I mean, he didn't really face the Mountain King yet. Was always dodging from the Storm Bolts and the rest of the army. But that gives HawK some time to level up. That's a double level 3, and that's a big mana potion.
Yeah.
And that's clap 2 now.
This Mountain King is looking really scary. That's going to be a lot of claps here that he can go for. And because he has the One of the Wind as well, maybe he doesn't have to Stormbolt as much. Usually when the Torrent Chieftain's coming in, you kind of want to stop him from landing a Stomp on everything. HawK may be about to catch the back of the army of Starbuck here, who's moving into the top left to creep that big camp with the Magnator. Yeah, that's going to be a creep. Okay, Starbuck sees him coming, I think. Oh no, he's going in. He's going to run the other way, okay.
This is gonna be interesting. Do we have a speed scroll? Yes, we do. Mana potion as well. We can't run away from Stormbolt. Oh, maybe you can even.
Oh no, wrong way. Turn around.
Looks good. So, here's the big push. This is pretty much do or die, I guess. Militia coming in. He's calling the Popo. And Starbuck is under pressure. Losing the shop pretty much immediately, but he's also catching some reinforcements. That's a priest going... Oh, no. Move to the side. Both players play on a high level here.
I think Starbuck may have forgot... Oh, yeah, one priest actually ran inside of the burrow and died. Starbuck may have forgot to research Kodo Aura here. Gonna start getting clapped. That's already a lot of mana that was spent on the Mountain King, actually. Oh, wow. This spell lands on the wolves. A priest that was also rallied straight into those berserkers. He's gonna fall very quickly. There's so much mana on that Shadowhunter. I don't know why Starbuck is so tentative. I feel like he should engage already.
Maybe he's waiting for some more reinforcements and wants to get them for free, but HawK constantly sends them away. I like it. Here we go for the Mountain King, who has the big mana here. Stormbolt, though there's no healing. What a wonderful usage of the Wand of the Wind. No Dispel, of course. No Shaman. Nothing. So the Shadowhunter can't do anything except enjoy the view. And man, this fight looks a lot better than anything we've seen from HawK in the fall season against Orc.
Yeah, Starbuck needs to get rid of that tower, but HawK is ready to repair with a lot of peasants here, and it's only 2 berserkers. He needs to fill the burrow to get rid of that footman as well. There's a footman inside of his peon line, just wrecking them very consistently. The Kodo is too far at the front. He cannot lose that. That's going to be the Aura gun as well.
Okay, that's a big damage loss. Slight supply lead for HawK. Tug of War continues. We still have the mana potion for Starbuck, but it's also towers coming up. He's trying to knock it down on the left-hand side of the screen, and the repair rate, absolutely excellent. The Headhunters can't do too much, but the TC is back with the Stomp, forces the town port with a couple of rifles going down. So, who did this fight benefit? I think it was Starbuck struggling a bit, and HawK doing a good job, but at the very end, the Orc strikes back, and this should now be his game with the tier 3 versus tier 2 advantage.
Yeah, as long as you survive here, if you're Starbuck, you're okay. And also, he's not behind in supply or anything. HawK did kill a lot. He's closing in on level 4 and 4. If you can get 5 and 5 here, and you have Brilliance 3 and Clap 3, that's almost like a win condition, where like you're just really far ahead behind it. Starbuck definitely needs to do better though with his item management. Like the ring does not belong on the Farseer, it does belong on the TC. Invuln, same thing. He could have used Lightning Shield on the TC as well when he sent it in. But yeah, he remade the Kodo now. And he's going for +3 attack. This damage is gonna be insane.
That costs so many resources, like 300 or something. Somewhat about that.
HawK is gonna look cute with his +1 attack only.
Oh yeah, but you know what? He kept on the greater mana potion, and Clap 3 does enough damage that you might not need a 3rd attack upgrade on these rifles, but for that he has some creeping to do, and it feels like both will meet at the red spot upper left.
The problem for the Mountain King is that he has no survivability item, like an Invuln or something like that. He only has the Ring of Regen. He's not even full HP here yet, so Starbuck doing a good job scouting here with the Wolf. And HawK actually re-dropped the Sentry Word here. Really nice item. Okay, he gets an Invuln. So he fixes the one issue that he might have had otherwise, and he's moving into the next timing. Starbuck. The Kodo is far forward. He needs to react very quickly here. Farseer a little late to the party. TC gets stunned immediately. He's gonna go in for the Stomp now.
Clap was real good. Also the one of the wind used again. Lightning Shield and Stomp on the TC. Very, very decisive fight. Can't really keep the TC up for much longer, but the Shadowhunters on the ground again. There's the heal wave. Mountain King versus TC. The never-ending battle in this matchup. Kodo again dying. TC in the middle of everything, and this is way too much damage. Starbuck has to get out with the town portal, and HawK's moving forward.
And the Kodo died here. That's a big problem. He needs to replace that immediately. There's already another one in production. Clarity is going to be used salves as well. Mountain King on the chase. He still has 150 mana. Gonna go for one of those Berserkers. Catches it. Starbuck really struggling, but he has TC3 now with a lot of items. Can he keep it alive?
And now he knows that the Mountain King has no mana anymore. The big potion is gone. No small potion behind it. TC needs some mana, doesn't get it. Might be used as a carry for a Lightning Shield, but we don't have that anymore either. Shop in production. Here's the mana potion. Here's the next Stomp. So stop that shop. Kodo is back. So is the Aura. TC's gotta be careful. No potion anymore, but he's with us back against the shop. Mountain King is living a dangerous life. Focus fire. Everything thrown at him. Hex can't use the Invul potion. And that's the little dwarf biting the dust. 6 feet under. And oh, HawK, it looked so good for you for quite some time, but Starbuck with the mana advantage in the end might take this home now.
Yeah, those Berserkers doing so much damage, +3 attack, really doing work for him. Torrent Chieftain coming back in. He knows that there's no threat of a Stonebolt anymore. Starbuck needs to not let HawK escape with all of these low hit points units, otherwise he can just remake Mountain King and he's still in the game. So he's trying to get on top of these rifles, and he's killing so many of them. 34 supply now for HawK. His army is so slow in comparison. He's just getting caught up to and losing more units.
Good luck running away against Endurance Aura and a Purge Orb. No slow here, no Sorceress, no Clap anymore. Oh, HawK, your game is falling apart. 40 supply only. Starbuck is very low on mana himself. That should be his #1 priority, fixing that. But oh boy, that might have been a little too aggressive here.
Yeah, Torrent Chieftain is almost level 4. That's such a big problem now for HawK, because he's almost certainly going to get that pretty quickly into the fight. And then Endurance level 2 is just insane here with those Berserkers. +3 attack still. It's 4-4 and almost 4 as well for the TC. On the other side, we're not that close to level 5, but this Magnator countdown there gives a lot of experience. Maybe he should pull back the Archmage here, and then he would get Mountain King 5, but maybe he thinks it's too risky just in case Starbuck is on the way. A Wolf is actually catching peasants here.
Whoops.
Near the lab of HawK.
Let's take a look at this red spot, what he got. Hood of Cunning, not what he wants, for sure. So,
yeah, agility finding agility as human always feels terrible because like there's really no use. But intelligence definitely plays a role here. Mountain King on 360 mana pool, that's very big.
Was about to ask you, like, the last fight, engaging there when you know you don't have a mana potion anymore, where you can land only one clap. Was it a mistake by HawK, or was it the right assessment and just the fight going in a better way for Starbuck?
Well, he was trying to get a shop, right, to replenish mana. The thing is, it feels like you have to go because you killed the Kodo, and you don't know if the opponent's already making one. If he doesn't have one, that's definitely a weakness of his that you can try and exploit. But yeah, in this case, I think maybe he stumbled a little too much. If you save most of your stumbles and you focus on clapping, you might wear this army down to the point where if the Shadowhunter doesn't have mana anymore, of course everything die. Like the MVP of this game is really the Shadowhunter that keeps everything alive so well against the Mountain King.
Who got a new potion of mana. Not close to 5, neither is the Farseer. All heroes of the Orc, well split across level 4. Is it a Tome of Reach right now?
He's researching War Drums. I wonder if he forgot for all this time.
Yeah, looks like it. HawK has 500 gold, 2 scrolls of healing, steals it away, Starbuck can't get them. What's his inventory looking like? Mana potion, okay, Invul potion and heal potion, but no AoE healing except the Shadowhunter, and I wonder if that's enough against a potential level 5 Mountain King.
Yeah, I think HawK should 100% go back home and buy double mana potion here for this Mountain King, because he's gonna get 5 almost certainly, like after killing just a few units. And once he has 5, you know, if you have Mountain King 5 and a Dream, I don't think he should have sold the item that he sold, by the way. Like remember he had 360 mana pool, now he has 285. The fact that you can drop the item and use a mana pot like makes such a big difference too.
Yeah.
Oh my god, HawK, don't do it. Don't go in.
Invis TC catches them all. Epicenter Storm follows it up with a lightning shield. That's the first heal struggle gone. Also, decent clap, but not an overwhelming one. He's still waiting for level 5. He's inches away. But how to get this speed scroll? Starbuck wants to end this game.
Where do you think you're going? Lands another stomp here instead of some of the trees. They are gonna fall super rapidly. Mountain King is almost in the middle of the Orc army, but he's not quite level 5 yet. He would love to be able to kill 1 or 2 units to secure that before he fights, but no mana potion on him. HawK trying to run back home, down to 40 supply now. And Starbuck smelling blood in the water. This is usually where HawK pulls Militia, though, and has some crazy turnarounds.
Oh, block against the Mountain King. He has a lot of survivability. You should use surround the Mountain King with an Invul Potion, Heal Scroll, and Mana. I'm not too sure, but the damage drops significantly, as if you're stomped, you can't attack anything. Second Heal Scroll, that was the last one. Last bit of healing for HawK, who's definitely up against the rope. His lifeline on map 1, hanging on by a thread. Purge again, block again. MK trying to get his way out. He could get a potion. Last second, he was down to 0.5 HP, but he needs more. He needs more. And the breaker gets the distance, but man, the Mountain King might be alive. The rest of his army isn't.
Yeah, Archmage getting hexed. He's not even going to be able to use the invul. Mountain King is going to follow. And Starbuck takes game number 1 here after, I guess, this one time we get to see some higher level heroes.
That immediately leaves the chair. All right, going for a little celebration, I guess. This was a crazy back and forth, but same result so far as in fall. HawK's map Northern Isles goes to Starbuck.
Yeah, I got worried in that game pretty quickly for HawK. That early game did not go well. He didn't get level 2 fast, he was struggling the whole time. Todd mentioned at the beginning, you can get a guaranteed level 2 there if you go for the Tuskar creep. But he didn't go for it. But he also didn't go for a very fast tech, because he went for a tower first. Maybe there's a better build there to go for. I always think studying Chimiko is a great source of inspiration in this matchup. He's amazing. But anyways, HawK was struggling there in the early game. All things considered, came back pretty well, right? With that mid-game timing, with the rifle push, with that shot that he made there and the tower in front of the Orc base. It looked okay, but it wasn't quite good enough. It wasn't quite good enough to get the map win here. But I would certainly say there's improvement. I would say this looked a lot better than last season did for him.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think it was mostly an of course, the early game, 100% right. A classical issue of Northern Isles nowadays. And then relying so much on the shop, like against so many headhunters, can you really expect to get a shop up to get the required mana for the claps? Not too sure. And then Starbuck took the game from there.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to anyway, right? It's good to send the peasants to be there to block a little bit, maybe to do a bit of damage. And then if you force Arcane Vault with 5 peasants, you do get it pretty fast. And that can win you a game if you're able to buy double mana potion. I disagree with some of the calls that HawK made, like selling that item. Yeah, like, yes, you have agility and, you feel disgusting because human doesn't even have an agility hero, but he had extra mana thanks to it. 360 mana pool, you can drop that, use a mana potion, you do that twice, then suddenly we're talking about a lot of mana being used in the fight. And maybe you're winning the game that way somehow, but it's just really hard. Like, strategically, he's doing the thing that he thinks is best, which is footman defense into rifle. He's hitting the right timing. But the early game, yeah, did go way poorer than it should have here. And it still feels like HawK is being stubborn with his build of getting the scout tower, but not morphing it more often than not. And kind of slowing down his tech quite a bit doing that.
Oh boys, this is high stakes for HawK. If he fails now, he has to go through a lower bracket against Thorzane, who's a super smart human mirror player and enjoys this matchup quite a bit. And then against either Starbuck again or Foggy, who beat him so many times in the ESL Cups. HawK's journey is rocky. We go to an updated map, everybody. We got, of course, a new one. That is Shallow Grave. We saw that in Craft vs. Enter. Now we go to the updated version of Autumn Leaves for the second match. Match points for Starbuck. Foggy is waiting in the winner's final, and the Playing Duck player is 1 map away. HawK, you gotta step up your game, brother, here on Autumn Leaves. How does he deal with the pressure now? Facing the lower bracket, these low amount of points, knowing that he has to go for the top 8 to keep a chance at the top of Europe.
I think his initial defense was maybe not ideal, but I think his biggest mistake last game in the early game was to take as much damage as he did on the footman before he had defense. I was looking at the defense in the production of his barrack, and I was like, why is he fighting before it's complete? Just go inside of your peasant line and camp there. And then if he attacks you, then you fight him. Maybe you send some militia, buy a little bit of time, try to minimize the damage that you take before defense is there. If defense completes and 3 of your 5 footmen are below mid hit points, what's the point even of getting defense? You're already in so much trouble. So definitely needs to fix some of the early game mistakes that he made here, because it's also a map where, because of the short rush distance, you're going to be under a lot of pressure here on Autumn Leaves.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a snowball effect, right? The more footmen you lose in the early game, the slower your creeping is. And not only did it take forever to get level 2 for the Archmage, but also level 3. Took quite a while for HawK. Maybe it all is fixable on Autumn Leaves, but we gotta say, this is Starbuck's map. Got a couple of changes here. This pond is new. A couple of changes to the creeps. We will, of course, go into this if we see them. But I guess for Starbuck, the game plan is pretty much the same as it was last time. Harass, 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 harass.
Yeah, the last time that they played, actually, in the previous DreamHack, Starbuck was playing a lot of early game creeping. So it's a really big mind game of his now to say, okay, I crept a lot last time, you're not going to expect it this time, then I'm going to rush you, you're maybe going to play a little bit greedier than usual. And look, HawK already made the adjustment. He started the tower now this time. He's like, all right, I've seen enough of these wolves, I want to minimize the damage, I want to be able to tech and then move out on the map. And when you do that, there's also that beautiful little thing where if you have a small camp near your base that you can do with only militia, that's going to be a little bit of extra experience, which in this case would be the small green camp right above his base.
Yeah, there is a purge creep now, so it's not so easy for water elementals, but militias, of course, can't be purged. Maybe we should introduce that. You could dispel the militia form. I think about that. Yeah,
militia's doing too great, and peasants in general in WarCraft 3.
I agree. Todd, I love that we're always on the same side of this argument.
Of course. You know me, I'm very reasonable.
Yeah, and I'm always right about the mechanics of Warcraft 3, so perfect fit.
HawK champ.
So, still level 1 for the Archmage, but a lot more freedom than on Northern Isles. He's not trapped in his base, and that's pretty much the result of this Arcane Tower, right?
Yeah, from there you can't really harass anymore at all with wolves, so then now it makes Starbuck say, okay, well, I can't harass there, so I'll stay on top of your Archmage then, do a lot of damage to it. Orc has salves to heal up, human has scroller regen, which is good for multiple units, but for one single one, not nearly as much. Can he actually make him TP? That would be insane. Starbuck doing a lot of damage to this Archmage.
Yeah, the accuracy of this Farseer, hitting the lightning bolts through the forest. Good arch.
And Militia on the other side did a small green camp, so that's level 2 reached on the Archmage. And this one Headhunter might be toast here. And he denied the experience by attacking maybe the crypt at the shop. He's gonna have to.
Footman went down in HawK's base. Ooh, he actually saves it. It's nighttime, wakes up the creeps. Oh, okay.
The Archmage got it.
That's important. A small step towards level 3.
Yeah.
A player's
And
forces
now
are under
Starbuck, again, once you have 5 Headhunters, it becomes so much better to actually start gathering some items. And he's first gonna go for the Merchant, and he might move on towards the center, but remember on the new version of Autumn is that was made a little bit harder to actually collect these items from the crypts that are there, compared to before where there was just this really garbage wolf that anybody could kill with a gust of wind.
Yeah, we are going to the Null Overseer here, which is a little easier than before. And Scroll of the Beast can be nice if you play rifles especially, but HawK is playing a very, very different game compared to Northern Isles. No rifles anymore, more footmen, no blacksmith. This is an interesting switch up. And Starbuck went for spiked barricades, expecting a very aggressive HawK with defense footmen.
Yeah, it's always a risk, right? Like if you kind of lose sight of the opponent and then he shows up with like 6-7 footmen, water elemental level 2, and maybe even a panda, and you're even just out of position, you can town pole quickly, but you're still gonna lose a lot. So Starbuck doesn't want to take the gamble, and he's correct in that there's not gonna be rifles. HawK committed very heavily on footman defense, which usually means he wants to be aggressive. He has the Scroll of the Beast though. Oh my god, this is actually really scary that he has that. But 45, look at that 45 defense timing when HawK's gonna reach the base. Shortly after that will complete here.
Pretty much perfect. The downside of the Scroll of the Beast, of course, is the more damage you do, the more damage you take from spiked barricades, but that should be neglectable. But yeah, the timing is absolutely perfect. Peons are moving into these as well. He has to respond, otherwise he's going to lose some during the tier 3 tech.
Oh yeah, Scroll of the Beast is super scary. There's so much damage on those water elemental. The thing is he has Shadowhunter, so he can start hexing all of these footmen, and now defense is fully negated when he does that. So you just target the footmen that are hexed and they die very quickly.
Oh man. Good saves for Starbuck so far, who had of course the blessing of finding heal ward. So yeah, he's coming from big creep camps, but that heal ward was running pretty much the entire time. A couple of headhunters are falling, but he's getting footmen in return. These 3 water elementals, man. What a force this is, but you gotta be careful with that Archmage! Forced into the TP! Can he save that beastery? Looks like it. Yep, no focus fire. Whew, lots of stressful moments here for Starbuck, but weathered the storm.
A player's forces are under attack.
And now, what's happening next? Mountain King second again. Not really a tempo play, but more creeping.
HawK is going tier 3.
What?
With Castle being now cheaper, there is more incentive to go for that. And we've seen that before. That was from Blade, I believe, when he played against Starbuck, where actually back then he was rifle into Knights with Master Casters.
Wow.
So after game 1, I think he just lost confidence into rifle casters. He's like, okay, well, I literally threw it. Everything that I had, it didn't work. I have to try something different. And yeah, I think it's going to be Knights and Priests with Master. Then you have a few Sorceresses. And you try and counter Headhunters into Berserkers like this.
Very rare sight to see a human tier 3 in this matchup compared to all the other approaches they tried in the past 3-4 months. New creep here on the left-hand side as well. The Wildkin getting killed off. Can't see the item at the moment. What is it? Scourge Bone Chimes once again. Not an issue, really. But a lot of XP for the Shadowhunter.
Yeah, not the greatest items for Starbuck. Last game, he already found that. Imagine if he found a True Shot instead. How ridiculous that would be with all those Headhunters. But yeah, he's got the Kodo. Berserker upgrades on the way. You don't want to fight before that completes. He's going to try and go for another camp here to make sure he gets Shadowhunter level 3. You also want to wait for TC usually, which will start now.
Yeah, nobody really wants to fight, right? They're both waiting for their upgrades. They're both waiting for the tier 3 units. And we got the Berserker upgrade, we got the TC, so okay. We're getting there on Starbuck's side.
He buys the orb. This healing ward is so great, by the way. Like, so many of those berserkers are missing hit points. I think Starbuck might do this camp and then go for the reds, because when you have a lot of ranged piercing units, you can do that red camp so easily by just pulling it, negating a lot of its damage, and just microing really well. Whereas HawK, there is absolutely no chance he could go for that anytime soon. Like, his army is literally like 4 footmen, 2 priests, and 2 heroes. So HawK kind of has to wait for that first knight's paladin, maybe priest master, and then he can start thinking about engaging. But he also has to worry about Starbuck not doing a big camp, but he has no idea where he is right now. So he's moving towards the main base, and Starbuck will just run back immediately.
Okay, abandoning the red spot. There was a nice timing by HawK. He can't really do too much with the army he got, but you really want to prevent Starbuck from creeping. As you said, the orcs creep speed a lot faster at the moment. What can you effectively do with priests and footmen? Nothing of that does damage.
Yeah.
But the knights do, and they're coming.
That was the moment where HawK was like, wait a second, I don't really want to fight. Let me leave. And then Starbuck is like, no. He just speed scrolls in. He's trying to land a big stomp. He will reach that instead of the army, and this is not a good time for HawK to be fighting. He's already got militia on the way, though. I think he realized there was no way he could effectively run from this.
And the paladin here as well. There was no town portal, didn't even realize that. Maybe a little over ambitious. Archmage takes care of the heal ward immediately. Paladin is there to heal up the Mountain King if there's any trouble. Thanks to Stomp and Focus Fire, we saw him go down twice in the previous game. The Stomps are good, but the kills are here with the Popo arresting these Berserkers. HawK salvaging this rather well, and now the longer the game goes, the better and better it is for HawK.
Getting a bit of a throwback from their series last DreamHack, where on Conceal Hill, Starbuck was doing really well, but then he overextended against Militia. This time he didn't. Militia was coming in, he pulled back, he kited, he waited for Peasants to return to Peasant form, and now he was on the chase. Thanks to a Hex and Stomp, he was able to eat the lone Knight that was there and put it into that Kodo belly, and now he's on the chase yet again. And I believe the police will be called once more.
Lots of mana still on the Paladin, going for the TC. There's a potion! Last second, but he's still surrounded. How do you fight out? There's of course no staff on the Orc side, so that hero goes down. Only level 1, easy to replace, but he can't level. And we all saw how important this level 2 Stomp is, how important the Endurance Aura is against the usually pretty slow army of the human. But now, we got a level 3.6 Archmage. Mountain King is approaching level 3. The Paladin got a lot, the Knights are online, and these Knights with Sundering Blades, they're cutting through Berserkers like butter. Like
both
through
players
butter.
have units in the center doing nothing, by the way. 3 priests there, a Kodo and a Berserker, so a little bit of a missed rally action from them. It's really nice for Starbuck that he has a second Kodo already, because there is 2 Knights out on the map right now. Of course, the first Kodo still has to digest that first one. But he's going to be able to counter that really well, supposedly, especially because, like, remember when Blade went for this? It was Rifle Caster up to 50 supply, and then he went into Knights. And because rifles are piercing and are really good against Kodo, then you can make sure that if Kodos come in, you stumble them and you target them. But now, there is no Knights for HawK. If Kodos actually come in with a speed scroll, there is a big stomp, and they grab 2 Knights, it's almost worth to just get out immediately, town portal out, and then just let those Knights get digested.
Yeah, for sure. Would love to see some Sorgs maybe against this once the master training is done, because there's no dispel on Starbuck. It's not even close. He doesn't even have the building for that, right? So
yeah,
slow could be good. Invisible TC would be good. Hell, even polymorph could be good.
Nah, polymorph's never good.
Well, I'll ask you when Johnny Cage is beating Happy with Master Sorceress.
Yeah, sure. And the meteor lands on planet Earth, and then I never get to answer.
You'll see. You'll see. They call me a prophet for a reason, Todd.
Actually, they don't. You just made that up yourself.
Don't. As if I would make stuff up.
Helm of Valor for HawK, so that's extra strength and agility. Again, the agility is a little bit annoying, but that gives extra hit points to his Mountain King. And yeah, on the other side, Claws plus 12, obviously not amazing. He might sell that, especially like, yeah, there's always some bigger incentive if you haven't broken up Keep yet. But plus 3 attack is about to finish. as this attack will reach his base here. No burrow near the peon line, actually. Some of these guys are gonna die before they can even get back to the safe refuge of the burrow. That's 2 of them.
HawK again has no TP. This is so risky. He has a staff, okay, but he's taking the fight here while building an expansion. I'm not too sure if that's the right call. Kodo with another snack. The other one is getting microed away. That's, of course, a way to get rid of knights who have like 12 armor if they have enough fire. But Devour...
The Kodo!
Care about armor.
The water above this almost took out a Kodo on its own, but now that can be healed. That was a weird attack here. Without a temple, like, I would understand if he had a temple and he would just try and kill as much as he can, then get out. Starbuck, will he actually check for that expansion? Like, you don't really expect a human to expand. When I see those walls and one of those is headed straight down, he knows that HawK likes to expand here on 50 supply very often.
Yeah, he sent one before. I'm not too sure if it expired before, but he's making double sure that this is happening now. Kodo is getting healed soon, more berserkers coming up. HawK is checking with the knight if there's a counter expansion, but there's not. So what's next? He could go to the shop.
Double sure?
Ah,
He's making sure.
sure. Sure squared.
He's double checking. Why is that TC carrying the claws plus 12, by the way? Like, that's supposed to be on the shadow. It's got 24 plus 2 agility. These Kodos are going to be super key, by the way. Like, he has to ideally... The way you do it is most likely speed scroll, send them in, stomp, and then grab knights, and then pull back the Kodos to safety.
Yeah.
But this actually Arcane... The Arcane Tower makes it really scary to move in there, because it might drain a lot of mana. Okay, speed scroll, send the Kodos in. But the knights are at the back. HawK is so smart, he bolts one of the Kodos immediately, and I think that one's gonna go down. But 2 knights get grabbed immediately behind.
Double snack, and the sorceress goes down as well. HawK, how long can you fight here? 8 supply in the bellies, 12 supply in the bellies. Oh man, that is not too great. But they still destroy these headhunters, and the Mountain King is trying his very, very best to free these knights, like in the big bad wolf. And these knights, they just don't die if they're getting attacked normally. 12 armor.
Oh, Farseer is gonna get targeted here. The Shadow
No TP.
doesn't work with too much more mana here. Farseer may get some mana drain as well if he steps close to the Arcane Tower. Knights right on top of Berserkers. The Kodos, where are they running away? Stay with the army. You don't have aura anymore.
Deserters, that's for sure. But there's no damage boost, of course, if there's no Kodos here. Mountain King has mana again. Water Elementals are getting purged. Nice healing on this Paladin. And I think HawK looks pretty good here. Supply is with him. The question is for how long? Another purge. A double purge. Uh-oh, did I speak too soon?
And this Orb of Lightning is so insane as well with those purges. But Starbuck unable to break that location. It might be good for him to cancel one of his Kodos that he has and then just drop a tiny and expand, because this attack has been defended super well by HawK.
So
And he's
far.
finally found the answer against that style, perhaps, here, HawK.
That is pretty impressive. And of course the Brilliance Aura is providing this Mountain King and the casters with more and more mana. Is he running out of steam though? More and more Water Elementals, more and more Inner Fire. Mountain King in the middle of it all, still has an Invo Potion and doesn't have to be aware of a Storm, right? There's almost no mana on this Mountain King, and that's the upside of a human in a long fight like this. This Brilliance Aura saved so many games already. TC and Focus Fire, but he's a tanky boy with 10 armor as well.
Kodo comes back in. Can he grab this knight maybe? No, he's hesitant. He's running back. What are you doing? You're full HP. You're hungry.
Invo Potion on the Mountain King was afraid of a Chain Lightning. If only he could get a mana potion on this MK, this would probably be game. But Starbuck knows if this game goes any longer. Oh, there's the staff. Ooh, that was close. If this
Oh my
game...
god, I think he actually dodged the damage by stuffing on this time. That was crazy.
He's a pretty good guy. But this expo is still up. It's running tier 3 versus tier 3, but one of these players has a second base. So is this HawK tying the series up?
Starbuck's gonna go for a tiny. I don't know why Starbuck is so paranoid about keeping the Kodos with a knight inside, like all the way back like this. He could just keep them with his army, then, you know, he's keeping them safe. Just, you know, the bodyguard.
Do you like the movie? Talked about movies so much today.
I only talk movies with Remo, sorry.
Okay. Do you like the song of the Bodyguard movie by Whitney Houston?
Of course.
And I.
Oh my god, we just
That's all I
lost
give you.
7,000
We'll
viewers.
always lame you. The WarCraft version.
Oh, I think I lost hearing on the left-hand side where Remo was. There's just this beeping noise, you know. We have a level 4.5 Archmage. We had a town portal. Finally, we got Orb, which actually usually we only see Orb against Undead. Now it makes sense against Heal Wave a little bit if there's Focus Fire. If you have the Golden with an expansion, you definitely do. Stormbolt coming in, connecting to this fast. He has to use the speed scroll immediately just to get out. Can take a couple of knights with him. Only one so far, but there's a second.
Shadowhunter is gonna have to re-heal immediately, and he's actually running out of mana very fast here. Another Stomp. TC almost going down. I think he's gonna go down. There's no next healing wave. He's getting bashed. He got bashed one time here by the Mountain King. Stormbolt will end the Thorn Chieftain's life.
This might be it. This might be HawK just going through on map 2. Both of these players stealing each other's maps here. Paladin level 3 can heal for so much. And what do these Berserkers do at this stage of the game?
Oh, HawK with some great staff. He's working with double staff now. And he has so much practice with them because this is also what you play against Undead. You know, multiple knights, two staffs. Water Elemental's putting in work here against the Kodos. That one's gonna fall. Looks like no, barely escapes for now. Stormbolt will free one more knight here. And Thorn Chieftain is being remade in the altar, but HawK, he has so much more supply here. 56. Even though his macro is not necessarily that clean, it's gonna be enough here. HawK with a great answer against the Farseer Headhunter style.
Whew, what a banger of a match. Probably the best map we've had so far from an entertainment standpoint. And what an interesting solution brought to us by HawK.
Yeah, that was a cool play. The Knights Within a Fire can be really strong in the late game, and it makes sense against Starbuck. Starbuck always somewhat greedily goes tier 3, so you can afford tier 3 as well. Against the Asian orcs who always go tier 2 expansion, this would never work. But here, it has a real chance of winning perhaps even another game in this series for him.
Alright then, the decision in the Group of Death winner bracket semi-final. Who's gonna face Foggy and who's gonna drop down to the lower bracket against no other than Thorzane? We'll see after a little break the decision. Decision time in the first stage of Group B. We're in the lobby. We will approach Concealed Hill to decide this one. HawK versus Starbuck. Does the Slovenian have an answer to this new Tier 3 style of HawK?
There is a somewhat straightforward and standard answer to it, which would be to just not go Tier 3 yourself, but rely on Tier 2 tempo and then go for an expansion. But that is not Starbuck style. Starbuck always wants to go Tier 3, always wants to play Kodo with upgrades and triple hero. So you might be going in a different direction. A big problem also that Starbuck's build can have is he just doesn't have Dispel. And yeah, the water elementals and the priest and everything was good. I mean, the knights and the priest and everything. But also the water elementals can prove to be quite troublesome. Once the AM gets level 4, he has so many of those. Again, a big deviation compared to how the Asians do it. And Todd, the game is up, by the way. But yeah, I would imagine Starbuck is doing something different. He's doing something in his own style. And I wonder what that's going to be. It could be something like Walkers, for example, as well.
Yes, that may be a problem of a random player, that he doesn't have so many builds to counter to your strat. Is he maybe a little one-dimensional in his orc play?
Oh,
Finally got the game name. Thanks, boys.
No problem, man. I mean, there's a Discord channel where they post these game names, but... Yeah. Starbuck asked
Very
for
slowly, yeah.
So answer my question, Todd.
Listen, it was a game of details here, I think. Starbuck made a couple mistakes here and there. Like, he put the ring on the TC too late. He realized, maybe a little late, exactly what was happening composition-wise. He realized a little late that there was a third base, and also that there was a second base, sorry. As soon as you see that second base and you choose to attack it and not expand yourself, I almost want to say it's an all-in, because either your attack works and then you've won, or it doesn't and then you've lost. In this case, it didn't. HawK held. He's very good at holding these kind of attacks later on. It's just the early game ones that he struggles against. So Starbuck, maybe drop a tiny on your side of the map, you know, like go for your own expansion, maybe on 50 supply against that style. And so far, the 2 times that he has faced this, I think he's lost. The other time was against Blade, the last time that they faced in the previous DreamHack.
Last time on DreamHack in fall, when these two faced each other on Concealed, it was one of the best games of the entire group stage. Looking forward to this. We give both players, of course, all the time that they need in the world to get ready for this. We know how high the stakes are. We know how close this race is. We have the EPT standings once again, as this is the last season of 2021. This is all leading up to the grand final on LAN. 16 players, $130,000. HawK just 5 points above the cutoff. Starbuck still with a decent shot if he makes it far in this tournament. But since they are in the same group with Foggy and Thorzane, I guess it's likely that only one of these two will leave the group. And of course, if you come through the winner bracket, your chances are a little higher.
Yeah, Foggy is the big bad boss at the end of the road, kind of like a nightmare figure, almost, that you don't want to stare down in the alleyway. Foggy's absolutely terrifying, especially in DreamHack. When he has some time to repair, we've seen that time and time again. There is a very clear reason why Foggy and Happy keep meeting in these grand finals, and that's because Foggy is also amazing. Of course, Happy's always the talk of the town. He always wins these tournaments, but Foggy's always nibbling at the heels and very close to finally dethroning the master from Moscow. So I would also assume Foggy first place in this group is like 80-something%, I would say. And it's going to be a battle of these other three. Thorzane's first performance didn't look too amazing yesterday, but again, that was against Foggy, and I think it's going to be a close race. I would be especially interested to see Thorzane in the Human Mirror. I feel like that's always a matchup that he looked really good in.
I would love to see that as well, not gonna lie, but man, all the games, it doesn't really matter what constellation we get after this map. It's gonna be the highlight of the upcoming days. Here we go. This is where it counts, everybody. Decision time. How rare for this WarCraft circuit of DreamHack to have a game 3 on day 2. Usually, you know, it's like 4 days of 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. not with these guys, not with this group. Starbuck on the left-hand side and HawK on the right-hand side. What will they bring to the table? HawK, do you have another plan? Will your tier 3 plan still work? And Starbuck, what is your answer to the new challenge that has risen? Concealed Hill, decision. And here we are. Who's gonna conquer that Concealed Hill? Who's gonna conquer the winner bracket final? On the upper right hand side in yellow, it is the guy who defeated Happy in the War 3 Champions season final. It is HawK. And in the bottom left hand side, one of the top 2-2 players, one of the best random players in all of Europe for the Playing Ducks is Starbuck. Not moving away from his Farseer headhunters, that's for sure.
Absolutely, yeah, that's definitely his go-to style. On this map, actually, like there is some big incentive to go for Rifle Caster usually because it's a harder map to creep on. There's like a lot of very big camps, which are going to be more difficult to do with Footman Defend than on Autumn Leaves, for example. So that, as much as that style worked out pretty well for HawK on Autumn Leaves, I don't know if it will be as effective on this map, but it's what he won with. So he kind of has a choice to make. Like, does he want to go for the exact same thing because it worked out and also you can expect Starbuck to make adjustment, or does he want to change at least a little bit of something in his game plan with, let's say, like rifles first and then later on into castle play?
Yeah, all these decisions will be very interesting, and also interesting if Starbuck can keep his nerves together. HawK, of course, participating in WarCraft tournaments for more than a decade, I think 14 years, 15 years, somewhat in that regard. Starbuck only really started in these one-on-one tournaments with DreamHack Summer. So with these high stakes here, does he feel the pressure? Does he feel the nerves? Will he make mistakes? Or will HawK punish these?
HawK gets a ring here, unfortunately for him. And he's already going the other way here while finishing this small camp with Militia. That means those peasants are going to take quite a bit of damage here. We'll see if Starbuck can punish, but we already have an Arcane Tower being morphed. And Starbuck immediately sees those peasants. He's like a shark in shallow waters. He smelled blood. Smelling
blood in the waters, indeed. Were you close to doing another movie reference there?
I saw the Farseer arriving there. I'm like,
That would also be a great cosplay for you. After the Jester, we turn you into the shark. You know, the one that was at the Super Bowl with Katy Perry. That would suit you so well.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Archmage got level 2. That's the most important thing. The first one was a ring, not too great. Second one, mantle, really good. And he denied the water elemental, so the Farseer stands currently at 25 experience, which is rather poor.
Yeah, HawK gave up some tech time, but actually not so much if we look at the comparison between that tech on both of them. It's not that far behind. Careful with the ensnare here on one of the headhunters. You definitely cannot start losing headhunters. That will be a disaster. And HawK looking to secure one more camp up there. This gets scouted very well here by Starbuck, who's already got the wolf. He's even going to wake up the creeps himself.
Not bad of a game for HawK so far. Can creep in peace, or can he? Wolf, as you said, scouted it, and Starbuck again continuing his cosplay as the shark. Let's see if he bites this time.
Yeah, defense is 50% made here. So these footmen, one of them is even slow here. This is not even fair. Gonna go down. Let's see if the creeps get a sneaky deny. No, they won't. He's gonna block the next one as well. Okay, that's only one footman going down so far. If anything escapes with all the hit points on this map, it can replenish to full thanks to the fountain. So it's very important to finish whatever off that you catch. And now, because he's already in the area, there is a big incentive for Starbuck to try and get the item from the merchant. But first, he's gonna do a safer little Murloc and Spider Crab camp for the tome.
Was a decent approach of evasion creeping by a HawK, but Starbuck found him and punished it and got some levels and removed 2 footmen from the game. That is, of course, cutting into creep speed as well. But unlike on Northern Isles, HawK has no problem with his levels. That is a level 3 for him after this camp.
Oh, Starbuck's gonna pull the lab.
What?
And did you see, by the way, Starbuck already knew he was going to get level 2 from that Murloc and Spider-Crab camp, so he ran across the map with a Farseer to make sure that if his small turtle camp was being stolen, he could actually maybe steal the bigger turtle on that camp. Archmage shows up with level 3 though, and Starbuck this time not ready at all. Fortified is on the way. He needs to repair very quickly. HawK places the Water Elemental to block some of the peons, but they still squeeze past. And he's gonna settle for the Voodoo Lounge cancel instead, which I think he will get.
Looks like it. 4 footmen, and there's defense, so he can't get rid of it. Needs to replace it immediately. But good for Starbuck. He found the big mana potion, so he can resummon whatever, or can go for a lot of hexes as the Shadow Hunter is coming. Reinforced defense is far away. Crucial moment in this game. Shop should be cancelled again. And text to tier 3 in his face.
Yeah. HawK on the other side, he's not pumping up. He's actually not macroing very well right now. He only started mount tanking, no Sanctum, no rifle being started. Starbuck, did he save everything? There is one very low HP headhunter at the back of his base. The wolves in the top left are going to get the footmen as well. Whoa. Starbuck really making the most of that situation. Unbelievable. He's level 3 with a greater mana now.
Holy! That is 5 footmen down for HawK. And what did he really get from this? 2 shop cancels. That's it.
Hashtag worth.
Definitely worth.
Oh, the critters.
What?
The critters are blocking in center.
Whoops.
Oh, HawK saw the pull. Okay, this is dangerous because Farseer is really low.
He can always hex if he wants to.
Yeah. Oh, this is sick by Starbuck. Oh my god, he's playing so well. Sick defense, and then immediately went for the perfect pull. He gets Legion Doomhorn. Oh. After some pretty poor items in game 1 and 2, he found Scourgebone Chimes twice. He got Claws plus 12 on the red one. This time he gets a fantastic item.
This is the dream. How often did we say human army is pretty slow in general?
Every single day on my stream.
Every single day on your stream. There's gonna be Endurance Aura on the TC. There's the Unholy Aura. In long fights, you get a little bit of extra regen. Oh, HawK, you're in danger of losing this series and getting dropped into the lower bracket. You need the big plays now.
Yeah, he's gonna start leveling his mount tanking on the other sides. If HawK can get into the late game, like if he can expand on 50 supply and, and start breaking upkeep, he's gonna have a chance. Like, he executed that really, really well. This is the kind of strategy that he shines the most with. Starbuck finds Talisman of Evasion. He's gonna have a choice between selling that or keeping it for the Torrent Chieftain, which surely will be there as a third hero. And I think a big conclusion to make from last game is that maybe when he has his third hero, instead of buying Orb, he could just drop a Tiny if he knows that the opponent is going for Castle, which right now, he's not seeing any rifles in this area. I think Starbuck should already know that it's yet again Castle play here.
Yeah, that reeks a little of desperation. Once again, HawK is at around 1,000 gold. 27 supply at 8 minutes. That's nothing.
Yeah, and that's because he macroed poorly while he was attacking. He only started mount tanking, and then after that he went up to like 600 gold and had quite a bit of wood. He was starting nothing. It's interesting to get Blacksmith this early, by the way, and not use it at all. It's almost like he wanted Starbuck to see it and somehow maybe to misreact to it. I mean, I don't know that you could misreact to it, but yeah, he didn't use that at all up until now, where he's reached Castle Tech and he's going for a Knight and +1 attack.
Shredder on the other side, plus the tiny Great Hole you mentioned. This seems like the counterplay. Just having more stuff. And good levels,
yeah, I mean,
of course.
He needs to get away with it, right? Like, he needs to not get punished now by an attack, but I don't think... When you play this style as HawK, you're not supposed to attack here anytime soon. You're supposed to really wait for a while. So he might be able to get away with it. And then if Shadow is 3, if TC, comes out and starts helping out... The Shredder is so smart, by the way, because he would have absolutely no lumber without this. Like, even if he made a few more peons, he would really struggle in terms of lumber. So now he didn't have to make any extra peon. He's gonna have enough lumber to get anything that he wants. He's working with 0-0, by the way, this game, because he really wanted to rush everything else.
Yeah, he even delayed the TC for a long time in comparison to the previous 2 games. But if that's all for the Great Hall, and if that runs for a little, that's definitely worth it. We do have a Paladin. Is he not in the group? Because he's not doing anything right now. Now we realize it. And maybe...
He went to the Merchant.
Yeah, he didn't buy anything, though.
Yeah. Zeppelin for Starbuck here. So I think he's just wanting to kill some peasants and then town portal out. Some of them are actually injured here, walking back from the expansion. HawK has to town portal very quickly here against this. Otherwise, he's going to lose a ton of peasants.
Yeah, there's otherwise no risk, but he's deciding to walk. 1 peasant down, 2 peasant down. Oh, this looks bad for HawK. The economy was already great for Starbuck, and now the economy is worse for HawK, and he just runs away like this.
Yeah, I thought he was
away.
going to TP, but he actually just flies away.
Yep. Whew, and he can do this again and again and again. Either
Yeah.
HawK has to sit in his main base and there's no progress at all, or Starbuck will drop again. Like, how do you salvage
The
this?
town is under siege.
He's sending 2 knights to the expo. That's actually really smart. But the thing is, there's going to be a TC, a Berserker, and a Kodo on the other side.
Massive
Starbuck
clan.
redrops. Yeah, that's a bit ambitious. It's almost like he's taunting him.
Come at me, brother. Whew.
Players force
Now the knights are here. Not
He's
dealing with the
my
tower.
TP, actually. He bought a second TP. He's running there with speed scroll.
Okay. Kodo is ready. Like,
Town is under
you're inviting me to a buffet? Let's go.
And Starbuck actually dropped the totem as well, so he wants to go for Torrents here. He has a sentry ward in the main base of HawK and right outside of it, so he literally sees any movement that HawK would ever go for, which is why he redrops. Upon seeing that HawK can move away from that location, he's gonna re-pick up everything. Speed scrolls with the Zeppelin.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. He can't lose the Zeppelin and lose his entire army. Then all his advantages would be gone.
Yeah, HawK is stuck here forever. Like, he basically would have to get a workshop, which is super costly in lumber, which he doesn't have. Get a flying machine, get rid of the Zep, and only then can he attack. But by this time, Starbuck might have, 65, 70 supply.
Feels like Starbuck is outsmarting him pretty hard. Now he steals items away from the shop. That's the invul and the heal scroll. Because he has all the gold in the world.
Yeah. Starbuck is macroing perfectly. Look, he's getting war drums, +2 attack. He queued another Kodo. As soon as the totem finishes, he can immediately get a Tauren. And I think HawK was trying to bait an attack from Starbuck here. He moved out with the Archmage and Pala, but he kept the Mountain King at home. But Starbuck is like, all right, well, nice baits. I'll come in, eat a knight, TP out whenever I want to.
Yeah. He's a little bit in risk of losing the Zeppelin, but oh,
because
the
there's-
reposition onto the casters. 200 IQ placed by Starbuck. Now the TP. Kodo falls. All right, but so worth it. That invul was a little celebratory drink, I guess.
Happens to the best of us, Neo. Evasion
Well, I wouldn't
definitely belongs on the TC. And I think Starbuck might just re-attack immediately here. I don't know when the word expired, if it did just now, or if it had already, but he's thinking of, he's gonna speed scroll past the army. He's like, yeah, go to my expo, you're gonna lose 50 more peasants.
That's so rough. The ward in the main saw that HawK is moving out, and he still has a TP, right? Yeah, on the TC, and he still has double TP. Unbelievable. Okay, the peons are suffering a little, but there's a backup, which is called main base, and for HawK, there's no backup at all. It's just a lot of hopes and thoughts and prayers at this point.
And Starbuck really wants to kill those peasants here.
Oh yeah, he does.
I mean, when there is no Arcane Tower, he could also keep spamming wolves all the time. He's gonna get so many of them here. And even whatever is left over. Can the wolves actually stay? Yes, he moves them outside of the range of the TP, so the wolves are still there now being annoying. They're gonna get dispelled. And he might just do the same over and over again here, because his expo is still up. And for HawK to go there and finish it, that would mean that he loses even more peasants, and his economy just keeps getting completely destroyed.
Starbuck is the smartest man I've seen all day. This is such a great
Is he
answer.
killing peasants? Well, I'm eating Einstein every day on ladder then.
I mean, I haven't seen HawK getting wrecked like this by an orc, at
Players'
least.
forces are under attack.
Yeah, I mean, he's not out of it yet here. HawK is just waiting for a dream fight. Unfortunately, he doesn't have boots on his Mountain King. That would really, be fantastic for him. He's the one with sentry wards, actually. So he set one in the center. He could drop one around here. That would give him great vision to actually try and get a good engagement. And he sends 2 knights to the expo again. There is a Kodo nearby.
There's a Tauren.
Careful. Yeah.
There's a Tauren nearby as well. Starbuck making Remo proud here. And yeah, that's
Pulverize
scary.
first hit. Must be nice.
3-3-2 heroes. Can HawK counter with Griffins? He doesn't have the economy at all.
Yeah,
The
definitely not.
Mountain King has to carry it again, gets the connection to one of the headhunters, but again TP out. There's so much more gold. He can afford these TPs.
Yeah, I think we might have reached a point here where Starbuck has so much that he might be okay to take a fight here. He can just hit a few of the knights. There's actually like one of the Kodo in the main base has a knight in it. He's making sure he gets level 2 TC. That's super well done as well. Like you definitely want to have Stomp here because he only had the aura up until now.
What's the game plan of your HawK?
All in. Don't buy a TP here. There's no getting out. You either win or you lose on this attack here.
Okay, he has a mana potion. He has a heal scroll. He has a staff. And he has a wand of mana stealing. All or nothing for HawK, or at least lower bracket there. The first clap is good. How much healing is there? We have a big mana potion still, could transfer to the Shadow Hunter. 2 heal scrolls and a smaller mana potion. I think he's well suited for this defense. Mountain King already dropping to 50%. 3 Kodos. They have all eaten 12 supply. Oh my god. Lots of mana on the Mountain King, but I doubt that's enough.
There's still a healing scroll on the TC here. Healing wave keeping everything alive. Fastiel is still working with a greater mana. He needs to be careful when Fastiel is inside of the army like this. He's always going to be a little more exposed. But Mountain King pretty much out of mana. Just has enough for a Stormbolt right now. Knights putting in work at the front here. Headhunters are falling very quickly. Fastiel running back. Clarity helping so much with the Shadow Hunter. He needs to use the next healing wave as soon as possible.
HawK has so little to work with. Starbuck, good micro here. Everything's hurt. Is hoping for the next heal scroll. And of course, the mana potion used on the Shadow Hunter to keep these Kodos alive. Now 4 of them. TC's in trouble. The potion last second. But is that enough? Is that enough? Is there another heal wave? Yes, there is. The Talisman helping out a little bit too. Fastia's coming back with hopefully a heal scroll. And these Kodos, man, they're hungry. The value of this heal scroll, amazing. Another heal wave. HawK can't kill the important units or heroes of Starbuck. But the supply gap feels like it's closing a little at least.
Oh, he's trying to free a knight here, but even... Oh, he just got digested here. There's a new Kodo under this. He's not picking it up. Not realizing that it's there. And the Paladin goes down. HawK is getting chased away. Orb of Lightning will get another knight. And I think Starbuck is so far ahead now. 57 supply to 40. HawK running home with his tail between his legs.
I see pitch black for HawK. What's left there? 45 supply, and that is 12 not available. 4 in production, 8 in Kodos, and it's 1 base, 2 base. 2,800 gold. This is a 900 gold harass. Not too bad.
Yeah, Starbuck doesn't actually have overwhelming supply, by the way. He doesn't have like 70 or 80. He's just slightly above 50. He's on 59. So what HawK's doing is super smart because obviously he's rebuilding towards 50 and he's creeping a camp. He's going to get quite a bit of gold from this, maybe a useful item. And then he's going to re-attack, I think. Just has to keep sending waves of units after units towards this expo. Otherwise, I think there is no way. And also, like by creeping like this, he's also giving an opportunity for his Mountain King to replenish all the mana in the world without going home and using clarities and stuff, which he definitely can afford. And he gets the Robe of Magi. Okay, Mountain King needs to care about his hit points, but his mana pool is looking great here with 505 if he gets back to full.
Oh yeah, if he gets level 3 clap, that might be the way out of this misery. On the other side, 443, of course, also great, super tanky TC. Love the ring and the talisman on that hero will always be in focus fire. He got the gold after the revive of a couple of units for another heal scroll. But this is not as good as it was prior to the push of HawK. There's no big mana anymore. He used that one. Also consumed 3 heal scrolls in that fight. HawK is showing fighting spirit. I love it.
Yeah, I think in this kind of game, it's very easy to crumble under the pressure and be like, all right, screw it. It's just going to be an attack and then it works or it doesn't. And you just stay until you've lost everything. But in this case, he lost his Pala at the end, but he was like, okay, I can still get out with 2 heroes. I can still try and replenish, like remake somewhat of an army. And now he's back on 46 supplies, leveling his heroes. Pala level 3 is a big level to get actually here in a second. And I think, yeah, Starbuck's starting to realize what's happening with HawK creeping the rest of the map. So he's going to move out and try and get into a fight. He hasn't remade any torrents. Oh, he's trying to go for Spirit Walker at the training, so he wants to transition a little bit himself. to deal with inner fire, because he has no way to deal with inner fire. That's a big problem.
Yeah, makes sense also to make these berserkers a little more tanky, but the clap is the worst problem for him. The Kodos come in front, one has eaten, two have eaten. The next knight a little out of position, maybe. Once again, full focus fire on that TC, wants to get rid of that cow. Perch again onto the knight. The headhunters are doing decent damage, but that was the last heal scroll. Could go to the shop on the right hand side, but then the hero's out of it. 50 supply, Farseer in trouble. Invo potion needs it soon. Oh my god, that was so close. But how do you heal this up? With the Shadow Hunter, Paladin in trouble now. Has to be staffed out, but he's missing in the fight now. Mountain King is doing his absolute best. Chain Lightning kills another knight. HawK falls down to 44 and Starbuck again. So many knights gone. Water Elemental eaten as well.
Mountain King might kill everything here. Oh my god, he has 2 mana potions. If he can drop both Robe of Magi and the Pennant, he's gonna replenish so much mana. He's re-engaging. That Mountain King has to be the MVP. He can't be killed because there's no more Pala. He goes for the Farseer and almost gets it, but not quite. Starbuck with a 6 save here.
Oh my god, both are playing so well. He's lining up a Storm, but that could be the Storm for the game if he prevents this retreat of HawK. Archmage is taking more and more damage. What a game, what a fight, the resiliency of both players, how they counter each other, how they always find new questions and answers. But this is the fountain of health for an orc now. We know what that means. It's not the reduced HP regeneration. These Kodos will be back at green HP in no time.
And Starbuck has so much lumber that he actually sends his shredder to the center to make sure there's nothing there. He might choose to fight with it, even if you lose it. I guess not really the end of the world. You might free some supply, I guess, if you're getting closer to 80 later on. But he has so many Kodos. Like, these knights are getting eaten left and right. And adding Spirit Walker here is actually so smart because you get rid of all the inner fire. You also potentially damage the water elementals that would be there.
Yeah.
And he's even adding a raider behind this to make sure those heroes don't run away anymore.
There's no TP though. And HawK is coming in for an attack. 2 knights, 3 heroes, couple of priests. This is not much. Of course, he knows all the time where Starbuck is. Do the knights do enough damage? It looks like it. Starbuck down to 50 gold. The main expired. Yes, it did. Nobody has income anymore. If this one falls, Farseer in trouble once more. Needs an invul. Gets a clap. Heal wave. Oh, so close. Can't lose that Farseer. Can't lose the wolf. So far, the Great Hall is up. This is his lifeline. Kodos are coming in. Now, Paladin, a little bit in trouble. So is the Shadow Hunter. Maybe a little too far forward. Level 5. Paladin dies again. That's the healer gone. And is that all hope gone as well? Yes, it is. GG. Starbuck. Boom, boom, boom. There's same celebration as Craft did. And both find themselves